Hello, YouTube land. This is Brent and Son coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky, the Bluegrass State. We have a story for you today in the cryptids genre. Let's just say that so that you can be surprised when you hear it. But it's kind of a cool story, man. You're going to like this. And this guy is from Florida, and I think that that's about all I want to say, so he can tell you. But if anyone out there has a story, any pictures, video, anything like that that you want to share, you can contact me at brentonson@gmail.com and just give me some contact information, a brief description, and I'll get back to you. And I believe that's about all I want to say today. Let's just go to our guest, Mike from Florida. Okay, Mike, if you would, I'd like for you to introduce yourself and tell us where you live, and then we'll get into your story.
Okay, my name is Mike. I live now in Deerfield Beach, Florida.
Okay.
When I was a younger man, I was about 7. One day I faked being sick. I didn't like school very much. So I was walking through the woods and I came across a little a quarry me and the kids used to go play at. There was these layers of dirt. Anyway, in those layers there were clay. So being the kid I was making little dirt bombs because they flew better, they hit better, the whole deal. Now, after about 10, maybe a little more than that, I got this feeling, something was watching me, and it was the creepiest feeling I ever felt, and I've never felt anything since, nothing like that. And almost instinctively, I looked up, and that's when my eyes locked onto a Black Panther. I was terrified. I know that my father had told me some stories about when he'd been out in the woods and how dangerous they are. And he gave me some pointers on how to react, no sudden movements. And it might have been about 60, maybe 70 yards away from me.
Right.
And I stood up slowly. It was at the tree line, and I figured I had enough time because I know they're fast. I stood up slowly. I was just getting ready to climb a tree, and then I heard this loud crunch behind me. And before I could look, the panther took off. And that was at that moment. I was smart enough to ask myself, what could have scared the panther, And so, out of curiosity, I looked to my left, and that's when I saw, well, at that age, it looked to be 30 feet tall. But, in reality, it was probably about 8 feet tall. It was attempting to hide itself behind a tree, which, I don't know, 1.5 2 foot diameter. All I could make out was the front of its left forehead and its one eyeball. And the eyeball was huge. So anyway, on the other side of the tree was the rest of its body, and it was massive. I mean, massive. This tree couldn't even make up a portion of its body. And as soon as it noticed me, it didn't run, but it just kind of made its way, like almost like, yeah, my business is done here. And it took off, and it was moving swift, but like I said, not running. And to this very day, I feel it was protecting me, which shows a level of intelligence, like a maternity. Do I know if it was a male or a female? No, I don't. But ever since then, yeah, anyway, I go home after I, fumbled around trying to get my, because I was freaked out. Not only was I terrified of the panther, but my body wouldn't move. And once I got everything organized, I made my way home. And then later that day, I told my brothers, my father, everybody, and they all laughed at me, and even a few of my friends. I didn't really talk about it much after that for a long time. But, that's my story.
Wow. So the panther, so do you think the panther was looking at you or looking at it?
No, the panther was deadlocked on me. And I believe I was its next meal.
Okay, so you felt like it was stalking you somewhat?
Oh, absolutely. It started to slowly walk towards me, and that's when I heard the crunch of the either it was a twig breaking or it was a branch breaking. Don't know, but
Wow.
it was locked on me. It was locked on me. I know that. You know when you're prey or the hunter, and I did not feel like I was in any semblance of control of that situation. I can tell you that.
Right. Now, the panther, was it solid black?
Yeah, I mean, it to me it looks black on black, but they don't exist supposedly. But I don't believe that.
Yeah. I mean, you saw it, you know it exists.
Yeah, but there's a lot of doubters out there that say, well, the way the sun caught it. I've heard every possible uh, disclaimer to what people see, and the reason I'm involved now. I've spent my entire life researching, and now I'm actually physically researching for the past year. I have the whole deal. I got thermal, I got night vision, I got it all. Listening devices. I want to save this species before it gets found out and people go the wrong direction with it, because there's something out there, and it's is it a caveman? Is it an early form of human? Is it a gigantopithecus? Who knows? Is it a descendant? I don't know.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to the Bigfoot, how far away was he from you?
Had to be 20.
20 feet.
He was up and to my left. I was about halfway up the dirt wall,
Yeah.
and there was another 4 feet, and then he was back. And understand there was a hill there, and there was trees everywhere.
Now you're getting really muffled. Make sure you're speaking into your phone good.
Oh, my apologies.
Okay. Yeah. Now. So he was 20 feet from you. If you would go over that again.
Yeah, 20 feet away from me. There was a 4-foot ledge. Basically, all I could see was his upper body.
Right.
But when he took off, like I said, he wasn't running. It was the weirdest thing. It was almost like how do I describe it? It's almost like he was ice skating. I don't know. He moved effortlessly. I mean, it was almost like he was what's that? What is it when they long distance skiing?
Yeah.
Just anyway, but yeah, and another reason I'm involved is because there are just so many doubters, and so many people sit on the outside and judge what everyone else is working so hard to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's other people down there in your area that's looking into it.
I know.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Now when you seen it 20 feet from you, it was hiding behind the tree. What color hair did it have? Kind of give us a description.
Dark brown.
Dark
brown. Yes.
Now, when its face, did it have like the monkey type face, or did it have more humanoid, or?
It was more of a cross. He had his nose as he walked away, I could see his nose. There was a separation, which gave him the ape appearance. But when I looked at his eyes, human.
Yeah.
I could swear I was looking at a. That's why I lean more towards an early human race. That's, but everyone has their own, other people say UFOs, whatever, Everyone's allowed to have that,
Right. Now, how long was the hair on it?
Some areas were short. Around his forearms were long. Around the face, well, obviously he had like 8. The way the facial hair was normal, but he had Elvis sideburns, if I can describe that.
Yeah.
It kind of came halfway down his face on his cheekbone and then came down into a beard. And his head looked like a torpedo.
Okay. So he had the conical sagittal crest.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Huh. Yeah. You hear that once in a while that they almost seem to have like a beard, like a facial hair, like human characteristics. Did he kind of have a hairdo? I hear that sometimes too.
No, his hair was a little almost like he was balding.
Oh, really? Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
But there was definitely more forehead than anything.
Right. Now the eyes. You said the eyes were large. What color were the eyes?
A reddish brown.
Reddish brown. What did you see white in the eyes too, or was it mostly all color?
I saw white on the. It was like I said. It was like a human eye, but huge. It was his eyeball, a little smaller than a tennis ball.
Dang! Wow, that's a pretty big eye in it. You can see pretty good, I reckon, huh? Did you see any ears on it?
No.
That tends to be kind of covered most of the time.
Yeah, I wish I could answer that, but I don't answer anything I don't have answers to.
Yeah. Now you said it was huge. Was it muscular huge, like thick huge, or just massively huge and lanky, or?
No, I can't say that well, there was muscle definition, but it was more, he was bulky. He or she. I'm going to say it had to be he, because I didn't see, I didn't see breasts, but with all the fur and with my heart pounding like it was, I mean, how can you differentiate, at that point?
Right. Yeah. So when he takes off, was he going through like thick brush, gliding fast, or?
Not at all. Not at all. There was, they were pine trees. And, of course, there was foliage and brush around. But I don't think that would have mattered. He would have made more noise.
Yeah.
But unbelievable.
They're really smooth, aren't they?
Yeah, it's almost like he was standing on something and somebody pulled him. I don't know any way. I have tried to duplicate that all my life. I can't do it. So I know it wasn't human. I mean, and as I told you in my original email, I, to this day, often question myself, did it really happen? Was it real? And I know it was.
Right. So you were basically out there playing, making dirt balls and
being a kid.
And then you basically had a wake up call to 2 different things out there in the woods that you weren't quite aware of.
No, look, I knew that there was big animals, there was predators out there, but nothing could have prepared me for witnessing the second part. I knew that there'd be a panther. I know, what my father told me, that there would be wild game predators out there. Now, nothing could have ever prepared me for seeing a humanoid that looked like a human, but was, 15-20% larger than we are. Nothing could have prepared me for that.
Right. Now go ahead.
And it's the weirdest thing, and I don't know how to relate this, but after having that encounter, losing that encounter, when he walks away, it's I feel like there's a part of me lost in the woods, like a part of my soul, and I want it back. I want to have another encounter. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
If I could stretch that far.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you think it's possible that this thing was hunting and just kind of happened on you, and maybe he was stalking that panther, or?
I really don't know, Brenton. I really don't know. I'm grateful.
Yeah. But you do know for sure, though, that panther didn't want none.
No, panther boogied, like, fast.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you maybe was really fortunate there that whatever the deal was, that
Absolutely.
that maybe it was watching you and it saw the panther and it was like just instinctively stepped in, and that's interesting that if that is the case. I mean we're I guess we're kind of speculating, but
absolutely.
But I can see it happening. There's some people that have really bad encounters, and there's some people that have encounters kind of like that, and they, but I do think it can be dangerous, man. Going squatching and stuff like that, because you can come in on their territory and they can have little ones or something around, and
Absolutely, Brenton. I think it comes down to your intention, and they're a lot more intelligent than we give them credit for. A lot more. And they know what a gun looks like. If you go in the woods with a gun looking for a Bigfoot or trying to hunt one, you will have a bad encounter. I guarantee it. But they know. If they see the cameras, they'll hide. They know what, just like a natural gut instinct. When you see another human, you know what their intention is. That guy might attack me. Right. So naturally, they're going to go into defense mode.
Yeah.
And granted, if they have their version of children, juveniles laying around, they're going to go into protective mode.
Right. Yeah, they do. And so you don't never know. I mean, some people go out there and make calls in the woods, and you don't know what you're saying when you make, like the siren call or something, and that's kind of more of the alpha male call, and then all of a sudden they have an encounter of a big alpha male coming at them, and they can't understand why. It's like you just challenged that Bigfoot, saying to him that you're the alpha male, and he said, "Oh no, you aren't,"
Well, that's why when I do calls, I only do small whoops.
Yeah.
Because you never hear an alpha male do whoops. An alpha male will always yell at the top of his drum.
Yeah, you're not talking into your speaker again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's why I only do whoops when I'm in the woods and knocks. That's it. I won't yell.
Even that can be, because you don't even know what you're saying when you make the knock, or I've known of people to make a whoop before and it went kind of bad, and during the situation they were in, they made a whoop and it turned kind of bad. It just depends.
Well, I'm glad you're telling me that.
Yeah.
It's like going into a foreign land and trying to say something in their language, and you might be insulting their mother. I get it.
Right. So
And
you're
that's
going
a
out
good
there and you're
point.
looking around a little bit now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Brenton. I do night. I go in the woods at night. I do daytime. I look for Bigfoot sign. But, if I get footage, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm not trying to be famous. I just want the species verified. I just want the truth, you know?
Yeah.
And of course I put some of my money in it, not some. I've invested a few, and
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Right. You know,
And
some people talk about they want to have them protected. I don't think they need our protection.
no, I don't think they do, but I definitely want the species verified. Definitely.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, that's
Yeah,
only that. I think that will only come when the population believes it to a high degree, and they basically, spread the word amongst. When the people say that this thing is real, and enough people are saying it's real, then there will be. I believe the scientific community might take it more serious, but until that happens, I just don't ever see it being verified unless we had a body.
yeah.
And I believe that there's I think that there's officials and stuff like that that if you hit one, because there's been some that's been found dead, hit by a car, things like that, and people come collect them, and they keep it shut up. Because there's a lot of dilemmas with people thinking that there's something like that out there. But if the
Well, just
public accepts it and there's the mass, most of the public believes that it's out there already, then I could see the officials saying, okay, yeah, it does exist.
well,
But
I'm sorry, Brett. I'm just so tired of the scientific community trying to sweep it under the rug like it doesn't exist, and our government. Like, don't even get me started. But I'm not going to badmouth anyone here. But I can tell you that they do exist, and the scientific community needs to stop trying to hide it.
yeah, well, I think some of them don't know, and
Or,
there's
or
some
they're just being parrots. They're just repeating what they're told.
right,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
What do I know? I'm
you know.
guessing here.
I mean, there's some people that see them and they know, but they're just so elusive. It's I don't know. I just don't see it happening on verifying it unless there was a body and someone was able to get their information out before the body got collected. Um, Something like that, I guess, or if the things basically came out of the woods and attacked the city or something, or something. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what it would take, other than if the general population, most of the people, if they were saying that these things are real, we see them, blah blah blah, and if the government thought that people believed it, because if our government was to come forth and say that these things are real and they're out there in the woods, that would cause some problems, about people going camping and that's a multi-billion-dollar business, in the like camping gears and fishing gear and state parks and so you know what I'm saying. So there are some
Of
dilemmas that
course.
I can see why there would be some issues, and then plus that you have some people coming up missing, in some of these parts with some of these rogue creatures, whether it be Dogman, Bigfoot, or who knows. But those kind of issues would start surfacing, and so it's kind of a dilemma. you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And rightfully so. It would be a shame if Bigfoot was blamed for something that they didn't do. You know,
Right. Yeah.
for the missing persons and whatnot. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm out there hitting the grind. In the next 2 years, I've got trips scheduled that will lead me all the way to California. I'm going to New York. I'm going to Kentucky, North Carolina. I'm even going to check out the Jersey Devil just to see. I want to see what's going on. Yeah. I'm going to end up checking out the Sierra Mountains, the Shasta Mountains. I'm going wherever there's any possibility of a Bigfoot.
Shoot, you all got them down there in Florida, big time, man.
I know.
I think that there are a lot. There's quite a good population down there in Florida. You know, for real, they're there. Yeah, so really, traveling around isn't, you know, if you want to travel, that's fine. But I'm telling you, they're there.
Oh yeah, of course I want to travel.
Yeah, Kentucky, I know we got them here, and dogmen too. We have a huge national, you know, forest, the Daniel Boone National Forest, that cuts all the way through the state, and then there's a land between the lakes where the famous LBL, you know, monster, the dogman attack, you know, on the campers there. I've not been to that. I went there when I was a kid, but I wasn't, you know, looking around for anything like that.
I gotcha.
So, but I mean, every state, you know, has got them. So, just a matter of kind of looking and seeing where the best places are, you know. But I think there's about in every woods, if there's any sizable piece of woods, and it doesn't even have to really be that big, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. You know, and you know, I hear a lot of people saying, I did this, I went fishing, and I did this, and I didn't see any Bigfoot. Well, because they weren't looking.
Right.
You know, put down the iPhone or whatever you're doing. If you really want to look for Bigfoot, go look.
Yeah. If you really want to look, I think you can find them. It's actually quite incredible, man. You can go out in the woods and start looking for the signs, you know, the tree markers and, you know, stick structures and things, and you'll start finding them, man. It's incredible. It really is. We're kind of stupid. You know? Well,
it's not stupid. Ignorance is bliss. If we don't know what to look for, we'll never see it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know. I'm a tile man, and my very first time doing tile, for the very next week, every floor I walked on, I inspected, and that was because an aspect of my life was opened.
Right. Yeah.
So you know, it's
I've done a lot of tile.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I had a motorcycle accident that kind of retired me. So.
Yeah. Well, I did construction for quite a few years, man, and I did it all, you know, and I had a back injury, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I feel you there, man.
Me neither. Now I'm just a foreman for a company now.
Right.
Well, there's not much I can do, and you know, I mean, I can do physical labor, but I don't have to now. I put in my time, you know. Right.
So you have thermal, huh?
Yeah, I have thermal. I have a small one. It's you know, it's not one of those $10,000 ones that those guys use on TV, but you know, it's mine.
Yeah,
and it works.
Well, yeah, that's pretty cool, man. For real.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be coming to Kentucky here in a few months. I'll definitely hit you up.
Yeah, I do, man.
I would like to meet you.
Yeah, give me a notice, and we'll meet up, man, for real.
That'd be awesome.
And if you don't know where you're wanting to go, we'll kind of decide on a place together. You know, I've got some ideas of some places I was wanting to go check out around here.
That'd be great. I have no problem going scouting with someone. I'll go on somebody else and follow orders. I don't care. I don't need to be the man in charge. I just want to be the guy that's who's involved.
Well, you know, I don't think anybody be in charge. The way I plan on doing it is go camp and in a place where they're around, and kind of let them come to you somewhat and go out and look somewhat. Because if they
That sounds
if they
awesome.
don't want you to see them, you're not going to see them anyway. And
That's why they're called ninjas.
you know what I'm saying? But I do know of I made a video about my own encounter here not too long ago, and that definitely I wasn't out looking for them, dude. They were there, and
Yep.
you know, and Kurt Stokes,
Me.
he lives a little bit north of me, and he would be willing to go too. Heck, he finds them all the time, Dogman,
I
Bigfoot, and all.
I'm not only interested in Bigfoot. I'm into paranormal. I love it all. I
Yeah.
love it all.
Right. I'm kind of spooked about the paranormal stuff when it comes to the I mean I've had a few encounters with that kind of stuff, and woo man, I don't even go looking for no paranormal kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know what the dog man is for sure, but it might be some somewhat some of it anyway, maybe something a little bit on the they're physical. I'm not saying they aren't physical, and they eat and they hunt and all that kind of stuff, but there might be some type of paranormal or supernatural something about them. There's something different about the dog man, and I can't quite for sure put my finger on it. But
Yeah, the dog man is very interesting.
yeah, it's an intriguing thing, that's for sure. And I'm
Definitely.
not sure if I want to have a dog man encounter, but
Well, they're pretty aggressive. I haven't heard of any good encounters with them.
right, yeah.
I haven't heard one positive encounter with a dog man.
Yeah, I've got one guy I was going to have on hopefully here soon. He had an encounter. He basically was standing out in the field, relieving himself with him and his buddy. Basically, was kind of facing different directions, and he heard something, like snap, like you did, and he looks up, and there was a dog man looking straight at him. You know what I'm saying? Eye to eye. And he said this
Yeah, I
thing's
think
eyes were green. And he said, I don't care what anybody says. He said, but the eyes had their own light source. He said they were green and the light was coming from within the eye. And that's what he said. He said it was kind of like a yellowish green, kind of like a lightning bug. And
that's their
that's
night vision.
yeah, I mean that's strange, man. And but I mean it makes me think back to an encounter I had when I was a kid with the supernatural type creature, and it was lit from within. There was light in it, kind of like if you stick your hand on a flashlight in the dark, it makes your hand glow orange. This whole thing was like that. So if the dog man's got fur or whatever, and it's this light's coming from, I don't know. I mean, it makes me think something supernatural, or maybe it has some kind of lightning bug type quality in the eye, and it gives it some night
Maybe,
vision. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm just
maybe.
yeah,
Brenton, I've heard a lot of different tales of encounters, and I've even heard about it's like the bat squatch and about the other. Oh my God, I'm trying to think, but it had its own light source, and when it looked at you, it shined away.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I've got some footage. I need to try to get back a hold of those guys because I didn't know what to do with the footage, and I mentioned it a couple of times, but he said it was a Sasquatch and it was the eyes. And it looked like someone standing out there because they had like a infrared or something. It looked like someone pointing flashlights around. And and they kept telling me, no, that's the eyes. And I just, man, it's like, man, I can't show that to anybody and tell them that's a darn Sasquatch eyes, that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't sell that to the audience, you know what I'm saying? You got to at least present something that you can ask people to believe. But I've collected some, stories here and there, and people, this keeps coming up that there's some of them that have this light that emits from the eyes. And I heard this one story about a guy who was had an encounter, and these things was like two flashlights beaming from the eyes, and then his friend made a whoop, and the eye shine went from like a white light shining forth, and that white turned into red light, and it scared them really bad, kind of thing. And I thought, man, that is very interesting right there, um, and it made me think back to that footage, and so anyway, I was going to try to get a few of these other people on that have some stories like this lighted eye.
I would love to hear it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I don't think they're all the Bigfoot and stuff like that are having that, but I think there might be some other stuff out there besides the Bigfoot that poses Bigfoot, or there may be another version of the Bigfoot that's different from the, what I mean? There might be a couple kinds of them. I think some people call one of them Ganasqua or something. I don't know for sure. I mean, what do you make of these stories? Because
Well,
there's some stories like that, and that's just a fact.
Well, that's we're looking for the truth, and in looking for the truth, we'll find it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when,
Right.
and that's when everything will be clear.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that the eyewitness testimony is just so important. I really do. Collecting the stories that they use eyewitness testimony in courtrooms. So to me, I just think that's just so much can be learned from people telling their stories, and you know what I'm saying. It really, you can kind of get an idea of what to look for, or if you do encounter something and it's different, you say, "Hey, I heard about this once," and like you said,
No,
your dad told you about
you're right.
your dad told you about the
You're,
panther. If it wasn't for him saying something about that, you wouldn't have known how to act.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, man, I tell you, when you do come up this way, man, make sure you email me and let me know.
I
That
will.
would be fun, man. I've been looking for um I've been paying a few things off so that I can free myself up to do other stuff, and I basically I believe I'm caught up to what I needed to do. So now I'm getting to the point at the end of this month that I'm going to be able to have the extra funds to go do something, and it'll kind of get better from this point forward. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, kind of looking forward to getting out there and doing something, man.
Absolutely.
'Cause it takes money to go do it. That's just all there is to it. You
Well,
can't.
I got lucky a little while back, and I struggled for years. Me and my wife, we almost lost our home 7 times, and we just kept banging away, and we finally caught up 2 years ago.
Right,
And I've been chomping at the bit to live this dream out.
right,
And last year is when I started to put away.
right.
And I can't say I got the best collection of devices and technological advanced stuff but it's mine, and
Yeah,
I do it when I can,
right.
and if it was up to me, I'd do it every day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
But
I don't think you need a whole lot. There's some people that don't take anything. They just go out there and get the information for themselves. And I mean, it'd be nice to have, thermal and stuff like that to try and get something. But the quest is what a lot of people are on, is find the information for themselves, and that that I mean, you said you want to know, so start with that. What I mean, and
yeah,
try to get the images and stuff the best you can, and if you get them, great. If you don't, you'll have fun doing it. You know.
of course. And
Right.
my kid went with me this past weekend. We went up to Polk County, Florida, a couple hours away from me, and we were out in the woods. And we heard a panther, growl at us. He must have been, well, he didn't growl. He kind of like let us know we were close. So I laid down a layer of police grade mace on the trail where we were so that he wouldn't try to track us. But my son, 10 years old, loves it.
Right.
My wife wants to go on the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to take her up to somewhere in West Palm Beach.
Right. Yeah, that sounds fun, man. For real. Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your stories, and
I appreciate you listening and not laughing. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the audience that listens to this show, man, they love this stuff. So anytime, stories like yours, they're waiting for them to come out. And they're like me. I love it.
I appreciate you giving me the time and allowing me my 5 seconds of fame.
Well, you're welcome, and we'll be talking some, and make sure you email me when you're heading up this direction, and we'll get together and do something.
And you got it, buddy.
All right.
Looking forward to it. In fact, I'm following you online, so I'll be around. I'll be in touch.
Okay, sounds great.
And if I get some decent footage, I'll send it your way first.
Yeah, that'd be great. Hey,
okay.
I'm gonna be probably showing some footage here from another guy down in your area. I think he got a couple really good shots of some little skunk ape thing, and like a larger one, like 8-footer maybe, and so you'll be interested probably to see that. Maybe y'all probably aren't too far from each other.
What's his name?
His name is. He was the guy on the show that had the Bigfoot in his bedroom.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'll email you his
yeah,
name.
or email him about me. I would definitely love to at least talk to him.
Yeah.
Or by email or whatever.
Yeah, I will do.
I appreciate that, Brenton.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. And well, thank you very much, Mike, and everybody out there in YouTube land. I appreciate you listening. If anyone has any kind of a story or any kind of footage, pictures that you want to share, contact me at brentonson@gmail.com. And until next time, God bless, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.